All right. So Philippa, I know I had set this out as a quick conversation, but I feel like we're on to something right here. We could end it here. Um, but there's some things that are playing out right now that I'm like, if you're good, I believe I have the next half hour to continue this conversation. Are you good with that?
Yeah, I have as well. Yeah, that'll
Okay.
be great. Yeah.
All right. So that let's keep the space in here, and let's calibrate on some things. You know, look, in hearing some of what really struck you and what I shared, um, the the place of worthiness really like actually resonates in a different way for me here. Uh, I came to when I moved from the US, I came in on a dependence pass. I like literally on my the card in which I go around, it says dependence. I couldn't open up a bank account in my name, so on and so forth. So I know what it's like to be in a place where you're like everything is was you had your own agency around it, and then like now you're in a place where that's not the case. And you know, it's interesting. So my wife and I, like traditionally, especially in American culture, men are the breadwinners in the family, and we've gone through a period of time where that was switched. You know, and my wife's a powerhouse of a person, so like, and the way that we build our relationship completely allows for it. And there's an element of impact that change where it's like nothing's missing. We have everything that we need. We have a thriving child. We have friends out here. We're traveling all over, you know, and yet there's still questions of, do I deserve this right now? Am I bringing this? Am I making my contribution right now? And I just want to just give space to, at least from my standpoint, just to let you know that I get it. I have my own flavor of it, but I do get how like everything could be completely okay, and at the same time still feel as though something is missing. I just want to just make sure that I don't just sweep that under, because it's not a, at least for me, it wasn't an imaginary thing. Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Secondly, and this actually happened more in the recent times. One of the things that I recognize with that is actually we're making an incredible investment, and what's an investment in a future that will provide more abundance in more ways than just what we were able to get beforehand, and do in a way that like fulfillment comes along in a way that will continue to be there. For me, it's joy, right? My joy is like I can actually be joyful in everything else. um, and in recognizing that, I also recognize that there was a part of me that was dragging things down, because I was like, I need to make this contribution right now. The contribution needs to exist now. And so there was this tug of, I'm creating impact in the world. No, I'm creating income in the world. I'm creating impact. I'm creating income. And it was almost like I look back, and it almost invariably happens. Every 3 to 6 months, I will go in with something that has the intention of being impact, and then I'll like feel the urge to throw on income on top of it, and then neither of the two really happen as I want. You know, I might get some income, but then I'm like, I'm bored. It's not the money I want. It's not going to be sustainable, so on and so forth. So there's a part here that I'm going to just offer here around like, if you are making this, if you and your partner have decided to make this investment in yourself and in your futures here, what is the way that you can most like you can honor it the most here? You don't need to answer it right now, but I want to give space to like was a decision here to make an investment that you come and you turn things around in a short period of time, or was there another investment or another decision that the two of you made together when you decided to go down this path? I don't need to know it in this moment, but I want to put that in here just to give some freedom and space to really make sure that like the elements that we're feeling on internally about being on this part of the journey, or being in a space where we're not contributing the way that we've used to contribute within our family unit. We're able to look at it and see what is the investment, what's the contribution that we're really looking to make.
Mm.
That's one. All right. Are you good with taking that? Like, if you feel there's a lot of power in it, we'll come back to it. But I want to make sure I'm putting that out here and just give you some time to maybe go journal, go think, and just recalibrate on that. All right?
Yeah.
All right. The second thing here is I'm going to wait, actually. Take your time and write. Take your time and write. I just don't want you to have to be in two places at once.
Oh, I've got it. And I'm gonna. It was a good question.
Yeah. The second thing here is actually going to be something I'm going to invite you to, based on, his name's Mike Michalowicz. I believe I'm saying his last name properly. He's the author of The Pumpkin Plan and also a book called Profit First. And in Profit First, one of the major takeaways there was a lot of people will go create money and then kind of allocate it to expenses, and then they will go after the allocation of expenses. They might even increase it, and then they'll see where the revenue goes. They go in their expenses, and then whatever just happens to be left over, they'll go to profit. But then it doesn't seem to always. They at the end of the year, they're like, where did the profit go? And so in his book, there's a number. This is the gross oversimplification. I do recommend reading it if you haven't yet. But he recommended creating multiple multiple accounts in your banking accounts, so it's that when a dollar goes in, you can allocate every dollar of revenue that comes in to a certain percentage, some percentage to taxes, some percent to operating expenses, some percentage to profit, and having that be what it is. And as you were talking, there was an element of it that felt like, well, what if for you, Philippa, you started and approached this from an abundance first place, where you looked at it and you said, okay, you want to have a portfolio, you want to have savings. You've talked about these different things, but then you also talked about there isn't a number in mind. It's really that you want to see growth, So it's so why not play that game? Why not allow yourself to start seeing the growth? Regardless of whatever dollar comes your way, it could be, just think about this, a stimulus package, it could be a refund, it could be a whatever, it could be a client, it could be whatever it is, whatever dollar that comes your way coming in, going forward, allocate it such that it's in alignment with your portfolio, and spend some time just watching the growth of that once again.
Yeah.
How does that feel for you? Let me just check in before I move on to the next part.
Oh yeah. Little sort of Mr. Happy is in here definitely right now. It's like, no, it's not happy. It's peace. It's peace. Mm-hmm. Peace landed there when you said that, and I started feeling that and going, and I know how to do it. It's not a how question. That is not my problem. It's that. It's not about contributing to the house and the food. It's about seeing my portfolio starting to grow and to see that happening continuously, because the rest will look after itself.
Yeah.
And I have that luxury that I don't have to worry about the house and the food and the stuff. So it's like, let's do it where I'm going to get inner peace.
Yeah. Inner peace. Like that to me is part of the compass here for you, right? Yeah. Inner peace. Like, it kind of leads into the next part of burnout. But before we get to that, I think let's come back, let's calibrate, let's see what happens, let's see if that brings you to inner peace or not. We know what the actual destination is. It's like right now with this, we don't need abundance, like in the same sense of what others might think abundance is. For you, abundance is inner peace. If we can get you to peace when it comes to this part, we're good. We're good. And so now we're calibrating to peace within this section here. Yeah. Right. And then we'll take some time and we'll look at it and we'll see, is it actually bringing into peace or not, and we'll keep this still into what is at the core of this here. Because this part, it isn't a survival element here. This is a part of, like, on an internal metric, what makes you feel worthy, what makes you feel good, what makes you feel whatever it is that you want to feel. And so we're looking for, and this is where I was at along the way. Like, we're looking for real ways to take the feelings for you to be able to like, for us to be able to say, okay, how do we calibrate in it? Because on any given day, the feeling might exist.
Mm.
And if we can give ourselves different metrics or different ways to kind of come in and be like, the peace I feel just looking at my portfolio, seeing these accounts grow by whatever they're growing by, knowing that like every time something comes in, it's going up,
It's
you
going
know,
on. I know.
it's going up, that it will keep going up as things keep coming in, you know.
I really,
Namaste.
I realize as you're saying that as well. I used to love going into my accounts and looking at the numbers and looking at the different investment funds and like being so sort of, satisfied in deciding which ones I was going to sell and which ones I was then going to, move around. And, I liked having a bank manager that I would go and sit and talk to and advise about. And I enjoyed that. I really, and you know what? I've never said that in the world. It's like, I enjoyed booking an appointment at the bank and sitting down there and talking about, investment funds and shares and stocks and things like that. Yeah.
So, play this here. I like, and if it makes sense, if it feels like it'd be fun for you, schedule that appointment, you know, and schedule that appointment. And I think the thing about it here is to enjoy the conversation for what the conversation is, not necessarily for what's in the bank right now,
Yeah.
because I'm not sure what's in the bank right now, but I don't think that right now we want to tie it to the actual numbers. We want to tie it to the sensation of the relative growth of playing with it and so on and so forth. So if it is genuinely enjoyable to go and have that conversation, then go do it. Put on go put on your bank best and go, like schedule that in and have some fun.
Yeah.
Have some fun with it, right? Because in the absence, and now we're getting to the burnout part of this year too, but in the absence of peace, in the absence of having fun, right? What's left is you're draining from a tank that isn't being filled.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
So let me check in with you. I'll tell you right now. I'm paying attention to yeah. Let me just check in with you because I think that there's things to explore in the burnout part. I think with even you in our conversations, like you've mentioned burnout a few different times, but it's never really gotten what I would feel like the space that it needs to like come out and help us be in a place that is creative around that.
Mm.
Um, I want to see, like right now, I'll tell you this, my intuition is saying that my young one is looking for a change and it's time for me to go step into that. So my intuition is saying, let's create another time. It could even be 24 hours from now. But we create another time to really go and explore down the route of burnout and burn in and where and like peace, like people talk about ease. Maybe it's not about ease for you. Maybe you don't need things easy, but you do need peace. Perhaps that's where it is,
Yeah.
There's something here that feels that like if we were able to let this continue to blossom for even just for 24 hours for you to see where this is, I think it's important that we have the conversation about creating and burnout and anything that comes in there that might be a blocker to you creating the way that you want to create, But I think that is, it feels separate but related to the conversation that we've been having thus far, and I want to make sure we're giving enough space to that. Are you good with that?
I'm good with that. Yeah, I am. I'm really good with that. Yeah. I don't normally give it much space either. So this is good. You're actually calling me out a little bit on that as well. Almost like, I bring it up and then I
welcome to my world, Philippa. I like to say, right? Because we're all in the practice of creating the World Joy Movement, the things that we do. We're all in the practice of creating the world that we want to see in the world, right? We talked about what are you creating, and we said, what are your actions like? What is that? What is that creating? I'm creating a space where we can literally, like, we can hear each other, and like this to me is actually saying, like, when someone says being heard, like that is it. I'm listening for the things that aren't being said. I'm listening for the things that are massive that are actually being swept under. And I'm seeing things that most people are trying to hide. Right. And so, yeah, I just like we have an ongoing relationship, and I've noticed that burnout comes in, and yet at the same time, it's never really been present. It's kind of like, hiya, burnout. Yeah. It's like, and then there was this burnout, bye. Like, and that's it. Right. And it really, and it feels like, I would love to give it the space that I think it like that it takes up, whether it's for you or for other people, that we go in and we address this and we find out what creating looks like for you, such that burnout isn't even on the horizon, that we have lead indicators to let you know, so that you can go as much as you like to, and then you can still see. And then we create different things that like let you see, like, actually, I don't have to worry about how high up am I on my burnout. I need to be more about, where am I in my peace? How's my inner peace on this? Oh, I'm good. Like this is peaceful. It might be stress and work for you, but for me, this is peaceful. It is peaceful for me to jump onto a call and record with you. Like, that is ease. That's like there's nothing in it. And except for the fact that I'm like, I got to be in my power. I got to be with someone that I care about, and someone who I see is out there in the world, uplifting the world in her own way. Sign me up. But people are going to look at it, and they're going to see the volume of conversations. They're going to see the amount that goes out in the world, and they're going to get, I know this because it's happened. Like, I get stressed just looking at your portfolio, your profile. I'm like, I got you, but this is like how I'm showing up. This is peace. This is ease for me.
Yeah.
So let's do this here. I'm glad we had this conversation. If there's one insight, one thing that feels different for you than when you came into this conversation, or one question that you want to continue to explore as a result of this conversation, what would it be?
I love how this inner peace is connected to my feelings of abundance, and how that can be the on the opposite side of burnout, that I really like. And as an insight for me to take on board now and actually put something into action, then it's definitely around the portfolio creation. And that was like, wow, that's so simple. Even if it's just $2 on something, do you see what I mean? It doesn't actually matter how much it is, the fact that I've started something and it's growing. So yeah, thank you. Hang on.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you for playing this. Simplicity is the game. Okay, am I back now?
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay. Yeah, simplicity is the game. That's it. And we will go through the complexity of it all. That's fine. What will happen here is that I think it's a sign saying this conversation has come to a completion.
I think so too.
So what we'll do here is like, so Philippa, I'm grateful for you. Thank you for being a part of the movement. Thank you for literally being in a space of figuring out how you continue to show up in the world. I'm grateful for this conversation. And here's another hint around abundance overall. Abundance and gratitude are really, really strongly connected. So the practice of gratitude goes a long way, right? And like, that's more of a back pocket thing now from our conversation, but I want to make sure I put it in here too.
Yeah,
right?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Brilliant.
All right.
We'll work out a new time.
We'll work out the continuation of this conversation.
You go and have a really good laugh with your son now, please.
Oh, we're gonna go play. My joy is about to transform again. All right.
Yes. Take care now.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
Bye.
It's the World Joy Movement. Yeah. What was your greatest insight from this conversation? And if you want to come and be a part of a conversation like this live, it's really simple. Just go to beworldjoy.com and come introduce yourself, and let's take the conversation to the next level, because you're there now. All right, let's play.